later. All right, we're looking at how to play against the Budapest defense, and you want to know what that is? Well, here it comes. Okay, black gambits a pawn. Okay, now white to play. Best move is just to go ahead and take it. Now, before you go too far here, or we go too far, this would probably be a mistake. Black just has all kinds of good moves here. Black could put the bishop on c5 because white has generously yielded it, and black has two pieces out and white has none. And if white's not careful, there could be some problems down here on f2. Let's look at that. Let's see if there's any merit to that. Okay. What's white going to do? Well, he can't play e4. He's pitching a pawn. Look, if he could pin the knight, but I don't think black needs to worry about that at all, because black has a little check. Okay.
Check.
And black is winning right out of the opening. So let's forget the pin. What else can we do here? Well, we can develop this knight. Now, is there any merit to black bringing this knight up here or here? Maybe. It does create a threat, and white would have to shut in his bishop to avoid that. What if you go the other way? Well, it looks like white he doesn't want to take this, and just allow this to come, something, bishop, well, yeah, that would be checkmate, duh.
Checkmate.
This is a mate threat. So knight e4 is even stronger. So how does white break the mate? Well, he's probably got to play e3. Now, for what it's worth, this bishop is shut in, and white can't chase this out with a pawn, at least not now. So black to play, let's just open up a diagonal for the bishop. This is not good for white. So, we got to find a better move than knight f3. Does one exist? Well, you can try knight c3. That stops knight e4. Okay. And we're getting ready for e4. But, I'm feeling black doesn't have anything to worry about here. He's got two pieces out and he's castled. Now let's try the pin. Oh, it still doesn't work. Uh-oh.
Check. Check.
Okay, still doesn't work. And white's busted. Okay, so let's back it up. Well, let's do this move since we set it up. Okay, now that stops this. But look at this wonderful bishop. Black's king's bishop is on a great square. White's isn't. So I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm not going to find a good continuation for white. But if you want to play this Budapest defense, you're maybe not going to like it when I show you what I'm going to show you. But if you want to play this Budapest defense, maybe you'd be happy to get this position. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, let's take the pawn. Now, black has two moves here. One is to put the knight here, and one is to put the knight there. So let's start with the knight here, because if anything, this does threaten to get back the pawn. Now, the question is, what we want to do is we want to make black work to get this pawn. Okay, so we want to develop some pieces. So for him to work to get the pawn, that means, can we develop a piece and at the same time protect that pawn? Okay, so we have a choice between bishop f4 and knight f3. And one is the correct move and one is okay, but they're both fine, but one is much better than the other one. And what's our inclination here? Our inclination is knights before bishops. But let's think about this for a second. We can protect it, but how can black attack it? How can he pile up on that pawn? Well, he can place his knight here, and he can place his queen here. And at some point, white's going to run out of attackers. So one move we probably don't want to play is to play here. This will keep the pawn at least for now, but it starts making white's position very porous. We've got this horrible diagonal. Something like this is going to come in again, and we have problems. Okay, so let's before I give the correct answer, since the rule is knights before bishops. Okay, that's what they teach us. It's not always the case, but let's try the knight here. Okay, that protects the pawn. Now let's suppose that black goes after this guy again. Okay, so now we need to play e3. Now black plays his knight here, and what can we do? We can plant the queen up here. Okay, now that gains a tempo on the bishop, but black has some choices here. He can play queen e7, and it looks like black has surrounded this pawn, as I illustrated earlier, and is going to get it back. And another thing that's curious about this position is black has found a way to be ahead in development. He's got 3 pieces out. White has 1. Okay, so let's look at this again. Let's come back. Okay, let's try the bishop. Okay. Now white to play, or no, sorry, black to play. Let's give this check.
Check.
Okay, now if we play knight c3, we may get some double pawns. So that could be good for black. He's been having all the fun so far. Let's put this here. Now we'll go here, bring the knight out. Now we'll go here. Now white decides that he wants to chase this bishop. And we know that if the bishop goes back, this way we're going to trap it. We're going to give that bishop some pressure. So we're expecting that what black is going to do is take this knight. But black gives us a little surprise move. He captures this pawn, and white looks at it and says, "Hey, look, a free piece." But it's not a free piece because black wins immediately.
Checkmate.
Ouch. Okay, so let's back this up. We can't take the bishop. We take this. Now he takes this. And guess what? We still can't take the bishop.
Checkmate.
So we got to come up with something else. So let's just play e3. Now, black needs to do one of 2 things. Put the bishop here, or put the bishop, or take the knight. If he puts the bishop here, it's kind of going on a bad square. And, white may be, let's see, white may be giving that bishop some fits. Now, how does black avoid getting double pawns here? Well, there might be a trick here. Let's look at this.
Check.
Okay, well, take here. And now we'll pin the knight to get the piece back, but then white castles. And black takes it. White takes it. And black looks at this carefully and realizes he can't take this. So what's happened? White has won a pawn. So black is misfired here. So, black is faced with this ugly scenario where at some point he's going to have some double pawns. So what black needs to do here on e3 is to take the knight.
Check.
But this is a very interesting position. Black seems to have a safe and solid position. But the first thing that's in white's favor here is the bishop pair. Okay, But the second thing in white's favor is that even though none of black's pawns have moved, and well, the 7 pawns remaining haven't moved, even though they haven't moved, black doesn't really have a break here. In other words, he doesn't have a way to advance his pawns to challenge white's pawns. So black's in danger of getting just simply squeezed to death here. What's going to happen? We don't know. Well, let's just play d6 and open up this diagonal. Okay. Now white will play something like bishop e2. Now let's get both sides castled. And the moment black plays something like e6, maybe there's trouble coming. See, now black can't take the pawn, and there's a threat to make this a weak pawn. But the other thing that's happening here is the position is starting to open up, and the white bishops are going to dominate. So, white, if you give Magnus Carlsen this position with white, he's going to beat Fabiano Caruana here because white has too much potential in this position. So, if you know somebody playing the Budapest defense, this is a great way to play it. And the trick was we broke the rule. We developed a bishop before a knight back on move 4. Knight f3 is the natural looking move. Just back that up. See, this seems to be the natural move. But after this move, let's see. No, wait, I'm sorry. We play here and gain this critical tempo here. Now, what if black tries that against this move? Well, now we go back and do this. Maybe that's what we just covered. And white's actually gained a tempo here. The knight comes out. See, there's going to be no checkmate down here, smothered mate down here on d3. White has gained. He's got this guy into action because this didn't come down. If it comes here, that's a loss of a tempo. And here white can just play queen d5, and black is kind of stymied. He can't get his pawn back, this check just is basically going to lead nowhere. And now he'd have to give up the bishop pair too. Now you could take with the king and be stubborn and hold on to that longer, but let's just take with the queen, and then after knight takes, we take, and he takes, and we have something similar to what I already illustrated. Okay, pretty much the same position, except white's gained a tempo here. He gained it because the bishop stopped there first and came and gave a check. Now this isn't a forced position, but it kind of shows you that that on the knight g4 line, white can get a lasting advantage, and all the winning chances come to white. So let's go back. Okay. To when we took the pawn. Okay. This is the other choice. But white should be fine here too. And one of the keys is that white can. I think white can hold on to this pawn. Let's see, knight f3, bishop here to hit this. We play e3. See, keep in mind this knight isn't attacking e5, so black can work on it, but this knight is unprotected. See, and if we go for the trade, we've lost a tempo. This is helping white.
Check.
Okay, now we'll just come out here. This is another idea. And here white's hanging onto his pawn. Okay, and if black doesn't do this, you know, he does have to find a home for that knight. Okay, where's he going to put it? Well, let's see. Can he get away with d5? Maybe. Let's see. There is an en passant capture. There's this capture. Usually, you know, it's kind of funny. People, I see sometimes, every once in a blue moon, somebody has an en passant capture and doesn't make it. And I can only remember in all the times I played chess, at least tournament chess, I remember early on I didn't make an en passant capture because I had a good move otherwise. But I've discovered that over 90%, 95% of the time when you have en passant, it's good to make it. So if you take this, the knight will just take back. And let's see what's happening here. Black's actually half a tempo ahead in development. So maybe I butchered this. Let's see. Let's just castle it because we can. Now we're not ready for queen c2 because of knight b4, but you know, we can develop pieces. Oh no, white's a pawn ahead. White's kept his pawn. What am I saying? Okay, so you know, I can't count. I mean, black's half tempo ahead, but it's not enough. It's not enough for the pawn. So d5 doesn't help black. So what else is it going to do? We don't know. They could put the knight here, but I think white can do fine by just probably just by castling here. Okay, maybe black is going to find a way to get his pawn back. But, you know, oops, after this, we can also play this move. Now, if black takes,
check,
that develops white's queen for him. And, you know, black castles, you know, we can form a battery against this square. And, you know, black's got some problems here. You know, g6, here comes h5. And, you know, this position can get very uncomfortable for black in a hurry, and he's still down his pawn. Okay, so you know, now he's trying to get it back. This doesn't quite work because at least on this line, takes, check, takes, check. The queen can come back, and black has his stuff covered, but it's white to play. You know, maybe white can just try to hang on to his pawn this way. You know, undeveloped here, but you know, black arguably doesn't have enough for the pawn here. You know, if he wants this developed, you know, he loses some time, and you know, white's got all kinds of ways to try to keep the attack alive against the king, and you know, black still got to get a few things developed. So, you know, white's a pawn up. Black, no, white's not a pawn up here. But that black king looks kind of shaky. This one does too, but I think white has more attacking chances here than black does. Okay, so I'm sure there's probably some other ways for white to do this too. None of this was forced. White didn't have to play h4. But it certainly looks like a fun move. You know, another idea here is even e4. Now, the drawback with that move is that this is no good. It develops the queen, but then it hangs e5. So let's see.
check,
You can also take. I don't know. Let's see. I had missed this move. So let's take with the pawn. Let's make this a challenge. Okay, does black want a castle king side here? You know, it looks pretty risky. You know, white's got the half open g file and the bishop pointed at h7, a pawn ready to move up the board. You know, it just looks uncomfortable for black. Let's see. But this you know, this, what else can we do here? We don't have to play knight f3. What if we just play knight d2? Okay, avoids double pawns, and we're trying to trade this off. I mean, this looks like a great move for white. You know, I guess black could try this. Now he's threatening a mate, but I mean, I can't see how this is any good for black. Okay, we're on this. We're on this. You know, white looks to be getting a lead in development here. We're going to give up this. Let's throw this check out because we can.
Check.
Now you got to find a home for the queen. You know, let's just pick this square. But look at black's queen side here. It's a mess. Now e5 is a target, but you know, I'm liking white a lot here. Not, you know, this wasn't forced. We're just analyzing. I don't know. I know the basics of this line. I don't have it memorized. It's a risky opening for black, and I know that knight e4 is not black's best choice. Knight g4 is. So let's back this up a little bit more. I don't know. Let's see. We could try this, and then on this we play here. I don't know, but this check. This check could be embarrassing. Okay. Because, you know, the bishop's not protecting the square anymore. So I don't think here we bring the bishop out. I'm pretty sure we just play knight f3 on bishop c5. We play e3. And, you know, he still has to work to get this back. And one thing I think I was missing, you know, on this, you know, queen d5 just also attacks this knight. And if the knight runs away, this bishop's in trouble. So, you know, maybe black has to stop and play this. But, you know, once again, we see this move. And, you know, it's not clear how black gets his pawn back. And he's losing a tempo with this check. You know, threat is queen takes, so.
Check.
Now, we answer that with this. And, well, yeah, we can, well, I don't know. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. My mouse drifts and I hit the wrong one. Okay, so what was I doing? I was playing this. And I think I was playing this. And I was throwing this down here. This attacks the knight. So the check, we were getting rid of it, jettisoning the knight.
Check.
Okay, now the queen was coming up. What was I doing? I was coming back here. Yeah, one of the drawbacks is there's this could be a nuisance check. So, white to play here. Let's just develop. Let him take time to get it back. Now, black is missing a couple things that white's already done. Black hasn't castled, and black hasn't developed this bishop. So, you know, he's behind. D6, you know, no weaknesses. Now, white doesn't have the bishop pair here, but white does have a lead in development. And, you know, white can't be worse off here. So, again, maybe this is the kind of position because of white's tempo advantage that Magnus Carlsen defeats Fabiano Caruana. Okay, you know, two guys headed for the world championship match. So I wanted to say it earlier and I forgot about it. So it just baits the question, so to speak. You know, you say, why don't grandmasters play openings like this? Well, this is why. Okay, you know, they don't want to play into a position where they're thrown on the defensive. See, at the top level, the objective is draw with black and win with white. That's been a match strategy that they've known about for 100 years at least. And, you know, a risky opening like the Budapest defense gives White more chances than he would get against a more solid defense. Okay, so Black can do well by, like, you know, playing like a Nond and defend against d4 with a Slav defense. Okay, or statistically, the Nimzo-Indian defense gives Black, you know, close to even chances. You know, White still comes out ahead, but White comes out ahead with, you know, either e4, d4. Okay, you know, so and certain moves like b4, you know, maybe White can do okay with, but Black will have no trouble getting equality. So anyway, that's kind of like a introduction to the Budapest defense, and I thank you for taking time to look at it. Okay, let's